Greetings from Daionji Temple here in Nagasaki, where I'm currently cleaning the outside windows for the toilets. Never let it be said that my life is without glamour. I thought I'd just do, on the 5th anniversary of Lemmy's passing, or his, shall I say, his ascendance to rock and roll Valhalla. I thought I'd do a quick video, just some thoughts and memories of Lemmy and Motorhead. Before that, I'd just like to say thank you to everyone who's watched my video, Lemmy, my little dissection, or whatever you might call it, of Lemmy's style, bass playing style, which is just about to crack 20,000 views. Obviously in YouTube terms it's like a fart in the cosmos, it's nothing. I think, what's that? Hey, I just met you, this is crazy, call me maybe, or something, which I really like that song, but that's like 1 billion views now, I think. Anyway, but yeah, I got 20,000 views, which for little old me is like, woo! So cheers, and it's nice, it's a nice positive thing, because some of the comments are like, said, have you heard this track by another band? Say something by Iron Maiden, or saying I hadn't heard by Hawkwind with Lemmy on it, you know, so it's very much a two-way thing, and it's really, really nice and positive and all of that, so cheers. Yeah, Lemmy and Motorhead, so like I say, it's a real shame, because I've said I do I've done a few covers of Ace of Spades on my YouTube channel, but I've done one where I say, you know, would any other sort of Motorhead banger, would they be upset if they could never hear that track again? Because to be honest, I would not. It's nowhere close to my favourite Motorhead track, or even among the favourites. And I think it was that, obviously when I was growing up, we were on, you know, cassettes. I mean, I'm 44, or, you know, CDs, but cassettes when I was in my early teens, getting to rock and roll or heavy metal or whatever. And it was always like, you know, the greatest rock anthems, Ace of Spades, pretty much track one every time. And if that's what Motorhead are, I'm great, but, you know, I just wasn't bothered about it. And then I remember being in a band in like 92 at college, and the drummer was like, oh, you've got to listen to this track. It's called Hellraiser, because that would have been 92, wasn't it? That was March or Day. Hellraiser. I was like, oh, fuck, I've Motorhead now. So I was wanting to the Jam, you know, Paul Weller and that, which I like them, but nothing like Motorhead. But anyway, so I passed then. Be a couple more years, to eventually a very good mate of mine, my closest friends, who was definitely sort of more into sort of metal and heavier stuff than I was, said, this is No Remorse, you've got to listen to it. I was like, I'm Motorhead, man. And so I said, no, just listen to it, give it a try, and give it a few listens. So I said, alright, so first track, of course, Ace of Spades, whatever. Next track, Motorhead, the live Motorhead. I just, what the fuck is this? That intro, you know, the thank you very much, good night, because it's a live one. And the intro, I was like, what? It sounded like a sort of fucked up Ace of Spades. So I started into it, then Stay Clean. I thought, well, this is getting interesting. But the real sort of, so I started listening to it. I thought, yeah, it's all right, quite like it. And then the real epiphany was Dancing on Your Grave. First time I heard that, that intro, Brian Robertson. I was listening to it on a Walkman, and I kept on having to rewind it. The track would finish, I rewound it till my batteries went flat on my Walkman. I've had that only a few times. Purple Haze, Jimi Hendrix. A song by Howlin' Wolf, the great bluesman, called Louise, which has still got the greatest solo ever, in my humble opinion, or for me. Anyway, but yeah, and that was it. That's when I was hooked. It was Dancing on Your Grave. And for a long time, that was it's still among my favourite Motorhead tracks, but there's loads. So that was 94, so I was 18, and just bang, that Motorhead was everything from that moment on. Or, you know, not everything, but a very big thing in my life. And it's funny, I remember New Year's Eve party that same year, so I was 18, it's the end of 94. Went to a house party, and everyone was, you know, it's that age, everyone's bringing along their girlfriends and boyfriends and what have you. And me and another guy there were basically only two single people. So we're just sitting at this kitchen table, like talking and getting drunk. But he kind of had the air of a chartered accountant or something about him. So I thought, you know, he's a nice bloke, but I thought, you know, try and make an effort to talk and that. But, you know, after a while I said, also, what sort of music you into? I think he was going to say, you know, whatever, classical. And he said, oh, I really like this band, you probably haven't heard of them, but they're called Motorhead. What? And we were just, from that moment on, because by then I'd read and learned quite a lot about Motorhead, so we were just swapping stories we'd heard about Lemmy and stuff. And one of my mates knew him in LA, you know, the Rainbow and stuff. And bear in mind, this is 94, so it's kind of pre-internet age. So you couldn't get information straight away. It was all, and I worked with this guy who knew Lemmy so well. He said, oh, I never called him Lemmy, it was Ian to me. And every time he's in England, I get a couple of tickets, backstage passes. So you didn't get information about Motorhead straight away like you could now. It was very much sort of word of mouth, or what you saw in a magazine, or that. And the English media was so snotty to Lemmy. I remember in Q magazine, which is just completely up its own arse anyway, they reviewed Overnight Sensation. It's just such a stupid, snotty review, you know, and it's such an underrated album. And anyway, but yeah, so anyway, that was the kind of, when you met someone else who was into Motorhead, it kind of didn't matter how different your other characters might have been, you instantly had that bond. I don't know if it's the same with people into football. I'm never into football, but if you like the same team, maybe you ever, I don't know. Yeah, so I saw him 3 times, and it's just, every time, Lemmy's presence was just, it blew me away, just, you know. And I saw him with the 3 after, it was after Wurzler left. The first time I saw him was just after Wurzler left, sort of late 95. Actually, Lemmy was still in his 40s and just 49. God, there's a thought. Yeah, Mickey D, just hair flying around and stuff. And it's really, you know, Phil Campbell, so underrated guitarist and all that. And I was just really pleased he stopped trying to do that Wizzo or Zoomster crap that he was always trying to live up to, and just sort of became Motorhead's guitarist. And, you know, really good. So I saw him 3 times, and it was, couldn't hear for 3 days afterwards, and all of that sort of great stuff. And actually, another memory that made me laugh is talking about meeting that guy at the party in Motorhead. And it was only about a year ago, I went down to a local live music bar here in Nagasaki. I'd not been for like a year, I haven't been back since. So I sit at the bar and having a slow beer and chat to the guy next to me, Japanese guy, funnily enough, here in Japan. And same thing, so what sort of music are you into? And he said, well, you're English, but I doubt you've heard of them, but I am Japan's #1 Motorhead fan. And I had a zip up top. I went, oh, right. I pulled the zip down, I opened it like the Superman thing, and there was my Motorhead t-shirt. I was like, oh. And yeah, I told them all my dits, like, I met Fastway Clarke. That's another video I did. Yeah, so I was 10 belt that, and then I played at the club. Obviously the other guys I was playing with a drummer, and that didn't know any Motorhead, but just for him I did the intro to Love Me Like a Reptile or something. Just to, yeah, and then it's just really good now doing these videos, because obviously there's a lot of Motorhead covers. I've really gotten to sort of playing the bass, doing that distorted Lemmy like bass, and just singing, just bass and singing, really like that. And also it's good to see some of the other channels. I think there's a chap, he does a thing called, I think it's Cover Bass, which or Coverhead, sorry, where he plays bass, Motorhead stuff. Is really good. And there's a chap who does various guitar, not just Motorhead, but he plays the guitar, but he does all the solos. I can't remember his channel, I'm subscribed to it, I can't remember the name of it. But he does all the solos, and it's all by memory, and it's just loads of Motorhead stuff, and plus all the other tracks he does. So it's just really great to see in this day and age internet platform, people like that able to get exposure for their talent. You know, back in the day, it was like everything was image or whatever, but now, you know, people can get that stuff out there. And yeah, all of that. So I'm fortunate to be able to do it myself, and just connect with like-minded people, and hopefully entertain people, give them something to, you know, look at or listen to, and whatever. But that was just my things, my recollections there. And I think, just to finish it, I'm sure it's been said before, but for me, Lemmy and Motorhead, and particularly Lemmy, it was Zen. It was music at its purest form. It's like the thing I feel sometimes, like I said earlier, when I hear Howling Wolf, who I also love so much, it's just completely pure. There's basically no bullshit. And Lemmy, his physical presence may have gone, but yeah, everything else still remains, and it will remain, because to me, you can't you can't get. There's certain bands, certain individuals, they're zen. There's nothing more. You can't get any better. And for me, that is Lemmy and Motorhead. So I'll carry on listening to them, playing their music. And Lemmy, thank you so much.